Alright guys, I just got done doing like a full watching of Dandadan. Ratings first, because if you just want to know what I think about it rating wise, I'm gonna put that at the start of the video, and then everything after that could have spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers, I would peace out after the ratings, because I want to talk about the show, kind of what I thought about it, and it's hard to do that without spoiling some things. First off, I'd give it a rating of like a 7 out of 10, because I really didn't like the start of the show, to be honest. There's just the aliens being all assaulty, and like then the older people, like basically there's like any creepy older character, and there's just too much sexualization at the start, definitely with like the young cast and whatnot. If I was like a kid, it probably wouldn't have bothered me as much, but like now that I'm an older dude, like you pick up on that more, and it just for me, I don't like it. So honestly, without that, and I think you could have took it all out and not hurt the show at all, in my opinion, and it would have been like an 8.5 for me, probably 8 or 8.5. But the fact that it's in the show at the start, because like once the aliens are gone, those three alien dudes, and they get rid of those subterraneans that never show back up in the show, it gets a lot better for that. Like that kind of disappears. It still has like lingering sexualization of the characters even though they're younger, but it doesn't have like the old creepy dudes, and it's more of a rom-com type of theme after that, so it's not as bad at all. But there is one episode, my favorite episode, just to mention, like, it's so peak, was episode 18. Like it had like none of that stuff at all. The humor was amazing, and it was like basically what the show could be. That was so well done. And one thing that Don Don did like super well is like whenever it added characters, they were almost all super enjoyable. I could do with or without the big guy at the end, the guy with the glasses that was all into mecha. But I mean, he even him was like semi enjoyable. Not as great as the other side characters, but he was still enjoyable to an extent. Don Don is kind of unique as well, because it kind of has like a Cowboy Bebop type theme. Instead of having like a major bad guy or like a super, like a plot that it tries to stick to, it has more of like arcs, like episode arcs, and it does a good job of like devoting each enough time in the series for each arc, and that makes it kind of fun, to be honest. This is one of the rare shows where like the main draw to the anime is like how crazy it is, but it actually gets better as it goes, because usually when it's like a crazy anime, like it kind of fades after like the first, I don't know, first 7 or 8 episodes. But like Don gets stronger and stronger as the show goes instead of getting weaker, because usually it kind of fades, but like the craziness throughout the Don and the energy just keeps getting better and better as the episodes go on, which is nice. And oh, and they did such a good job with like the drawing of like the yokai slash monster characters. They make some of them super creepy, and some of them look awesome. Like Turbo Granny looked dope, like for what that yokai should be. I feel like some of the representations of the yokai were just phenomenal. The reason why it would be like without all the crazy sexualization stuff, it would be like an 8 for me, or an 8.5, is because like it does a great job of blending like a lot of different genres: rom-com, battle anime, yokai, like supernatural yokai type things. But in my opinion, it's not like the best in any of those genres. I don't think, anyways, like for what I've watched. Because like 9 for me would be like something that's like the best of, like one of the best of that genre I've seen. And I don't think this is like one of the best in any of those genres, but it does such a good job of like mashing them all together. One day I'll have to do a video like going over like how I rate things. But for me, it's like a 7. I was actually going to give it a 6.5, but like it ended so strongly, it kind of like bumped it up to that 0.5, because like a 6 for me is like something that I enjoyed, but it has like a flaw in it that like kind of takes me out of it. Like that's what Don did at the start. Like I'd be really enjoying an episode, even some of the early episodes. I think it was like episode 10, I believe, when they were Joji was playing with Ocarine. They were playing soccer together, and freaking that I was really enjoying that episode. And all of a sudden, they called themselves Gators, which was like these old creepy guys were like trying to take advantage of Momo at the spa or whatever. And I was just like, bruh. I was enjoying this episode, and then you had to go back to this crap again. It just detracted from the show, and the show would have been so much better without it. But the animation's so well done. They did a lot of different types of animation, which I like, because it did have like that super fast, blurred, rubber bandy type animation that I'm not the biggest fan of. But then they actually had like fight scenes where they took the time to animate like every movement, which looks amazing. One of my favorite fights, one was the dancing yokai, and the other one was the landlady when she was fighting. I thought they did a great job with that animation. It looked fantastic. But yeah, the anime was a lot better than I thought it would be originally because looking at it on Facebook and whatnot, everybody focused on the grandma and how hot she was and everything like that. And I really thought the show was going to be like focusing on like super fan service. And like I said, it did sexualize things a lot at the start. But the old lady, even though they made her attractive, like her personality didn't revolve around that. Like her personality was actually like a just being an absolute Chad, I guess, would be without cussing. That'd be the way to explain it, I guess. I also liked how they didn't make her like super overpowered, like that old character that can always fix things, but just chooses not to or isn't in the right place at the right time. She wasn't that type of character. You could tell like the characters that were actually solving the issues were the ones that were like had the power to do it. Even though she did have her moments, they didn't like make it where she was like the most powerful character in the show or anything like that, which I thought was nice. I think they did a good job as the show went on as well. Like I said, with like adding more characters, like the show got better. What's really the big turning point was when Joji joined the show and Okarun was like hanging out with him and they started becoming friends. Like Okarun at the start really didn't have much personality in my opinion. Like I think I pronounced his name wrong at the start of the video, but Okarun, one thing that happened was, and I think they did a good job with it actually, is that at first he doesn't have much personality, or at least he's not showing it. But once Joji shows up, like he's actually feeling more comfortable with revealing his personality. Because even with Momo, even though she's his first friend, he's a little bit too shy to like reveal much about himself. And that's a little bit of the awkward stage where he like grows out of that. And then once Joji shows up, he gets more comfortable with like actually showing how he is. So I think they did a great job with that. It's just it kind of makes the first episodes flat because Momo's carrying the show, like I said, and Okarun is very bland. But then I do think he gets a lot better. And even later, when like he starts developing his relationship with Momo, I think they did a really good job with the slice of life as well. Like, see, the thing is, I don't have a problem with like the characters that are like the same age having like relationship stuff because that's just how life works. And I mean, honestly, I thought the romance elements were like super cute. I love slice of life. It's just like I said, there was like some egregious stuff going on with those aliens. Turbo Granny, uh, to an extent, even though she kind of mellows out, thankfully. The freaking landlord people that are like subterraneans. That was awful. Honestly, if you took those characters and just like made them not do that stuff, it would take literally nothing from the show. Except for maybe like people that like that kind of thing, but which I've watched anime long enough to know that Japanese people always put that kind of stuff in their anime. Like some are just way more egregious than others. Like I said, this one was pretty crazy with with obviously all the genitalia stuff and whatnot. I was like, it could have been any body part, bro, or anything. Like, I don't know what the purpose was of it being that part of his body, besides just being like shock value, I guess. Like I said, when I was younger though, I watched like Fully Cooley and stuff like that, and I didn't really even notice it, even though Fully Cooley was like a coming of age anime too. Granted, it wasn't as explicit as Dandadan is, but and I mean that's my main complaint with the show. Like I said, it doesn't do anything. It's not super original in my opinion, even though like I guess you could say it's original in like the blending of all the animes, but or all the genres, but it doesn't do anything that's like original just for the show. It's not they didn't do anything I haven't really seen before in anime, which is kind of I guess a problem if you watch anime long enough, you start to see about everything. I did love the references as well. I think there was Slam Dunk's opening that some of the characters were singing. Rama Half, obviously. Rama Half was heavily referenced, which was cool. And they did the song as well. Obviously, they did Gurren Lagann as well towards the end. So that was really cool. I like how they had all the references. There's probably some I didn't even pick up on, like when that the fat guy with the glasses was singing. I don't know what opening he was doing, if it was one that already existed. Oh, but like let me go back to episode 18. That was like peak Don to Don. because like it was crazy, which is one of the draws to the show. Like there's always crazy humor. The music, oh, that song was awesome. Everybody talks about the opening of the first season, which is good. It's actually pretty great. But that song in episode 18 was fire, bro. Definitely for like an episode song. That was so good. That was wildly enjoyable. And like there's just so much action and it's so pumped up. And like this was like one of the episode that had like none of that crazy, like too far stuff for me, anyways. So, and usually I'll watch an anime even if it does have that stuff, as long as it doesn't take it too far. Like there's one anime I just had to drop completely. It was, I can't remember what it's called, but the main character was named Rudy and he was isekai. I had to drop that. I was like, that's too much. I was like, I can't watch this. And some people can watch it. It's just not for me. So if you're also not into that stuff, I will say Dandadan gets way better after you get past like episode 12, I think, episode 11 or 12. It's also a show you can't take too seriously because like if you try to dissect it and try to make sense of things, that's not what the show's for, because obviously there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense, but it's enjoyable. Like it's basically a thrill ride, which it does really well at. I did like as well that it wasn't like, even though the character does get more control over his abilities, it doesn't really focus on like just him gaining more and more power ups. It didn't have like this crap where it's like, oh, Okarun was from this legendary family where he can harness or have like immense spiritual pressure or something like that. Even though one of the side characters is kind of like that, um, it doesn't really have much bearing on the show, which is kind of nice. I will say one thing I didn't like in like battle anime aspects was like when he fought Evil Eye. I feel like they did I really like how they defeated Evil Eye the first time with the mannequin. I love the mannequins. The mannequins were just like an overall joy in the show. That was like one of my favorite characters, along with the crab alien people. But the fact that they used the talismans inside of the mannequin and kind of tricked Evil Eye the first time because he was so powerful, that made a lot of sense to me. I like that a lot. I didn't really care for when Okarun was transformed and he's like, oh, I'm super pissed, so I can just do something that I'm going to learn later on. Like, I really feel like they should have had Evil Eye defeat him and move on and then have Evil Eye defeated by the mannequin later, like they did anyways. Because I feel like it really took away from the like impact for when Okarun actually trained and learned how to do the multiple attacks during his like full burst and fought him later. Because even then, he didn't beat Evil Eye as bad as he did the first time. And he basically did the same thing later after the training that he did even better the first time because he was pissed off. And I didn't really care for that. I thought I liked it better when they did it the second time where he actually trained a little bit. Obviously, they didn't diminish Evil Eye's character any. The first time, it just kind of felt like a butt pull, and I really don't. That's one thing that kind of like takes me out of battle animes when people get like some new feat of strength all of a sudden because they're like mad or because like the character's too powerful that they're fighting against. Like they automatically like adapt to do whatever they needed to do. And like I said, they had a way to defeat him anyways because that's what they ended up doing. Like Okarun knocking him out didn't really bear any impact. And that's like if you're over analyzing the battle aspects of the anime for like what I enjoy anyways. Because I kind of like it when there's like a reason the main character overcomes someone instead of just like, oh, I'm mad now. I'm mad, so I've unlocked this new technique. And obviously it was a technique because he literally did it the second time they fought after that training arc, which that training arc was amazing. That was really cool, actually, with the musicians. Like the 18th episode and the 20th episode were probably my favorite in the whole show. And I'd say like the 18th episode by itself was like a 9 out of 10 for me. It was really enjoyable. I had just the whole overall vibe of the episode was fantastic. So I could definitely see like in review, like I could definitely see why people say they don't like Dandadan, because if you don't watch the whole thing, the start is just kind of like it's a bit cringy with like all the stuff like that, in my opinion, with the aliens and all that. Like the aliens look creepy, You just gotta take out that one part where they're trying to, you know, take out all the genitalia stuff and you're pretty good. And it's not like they show anything, so it's not like a hentai or anything like that. It's just not even hinted at. It's like explicit with like their motivations and whatnot and what they're trying to do. But yeah, on the 15th, we'll be checking out City Cyber City Oedo and May Knock a Punch. The reason why we're doing two on the 15th is because Cyber City Oedo was requested, and I think in total he said it was like 2 hours and a half. And May Knock a Punch is only 12 episodes, so that would be like, I don't know, 4 hours maybe. Because we just watched Dandadan, I think it was about 8 hours. So yeah, thanks for watching as always, guys. And I know this might not be like the most well received video because people love Dandadan, and I think I enjoyed it as well, but I still think it could have been better for me anyways. Like, I know some people really do not mind that kind of crap, but like in my old age, it kind of bothers me. It's like when they focus on it way too heavily. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching as always. Boy.